What is up, you guys, and welcome back to another podcast. I hope that everybody's doing well today. In today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about why eating clean won't fix your relationship with food. Now, this is really important because eating healthy can actually be really toxic. Being extremely healthy can also be really toxic. Surrounding your life with just fitness and nothing else, no balance or anything like that, can be super toxic. It can be something where it takes away from your life and it doesn't give back. But I'm only talking in a way where it actually makes you feel guilty if you go have a slice of pizza. And there's a lot more knowledge and understanding that you can still have a slice of pizza, but without feeling the guilt behind it and stuff like that. I just know that when it comes to fitness, there's a lot of people, especially online, who just thrive off promoting fitness, health, nutrition, this and that, but without showing the other side where it's just what's actually normal. So I want to go over that in this podcast because I think it'll be helpful to everybody because, dude, I think one of the biggest things that I come across is that when people have a fitness goal, they want to be extremely strict in order to get to that goal. They want to cue Rocky montage. They just want to go all in and do nothing else other than that. Maybe they got out of a breakup. Maybe they are feeling super low and insecure. I know I've been there many times, and I end up going all in on my goals and I start working my ass off to prove it to myself and other people that I can do it, but then I just burn myself out. So you want to think about the same way with your nutrition. You can still burn yourself out with your eating, and that can be done by going all in, being super restrictive, and not giving yourself or even allowing yourself room to breathe. But it's something to settle into, because I know for me, even a little while ago, I would track my food on a day-to-day basis and be super strict, right? Now, I don't track my food at all. I generally know and understand how much food I need to eat, how much protein I need to eat, how much carbs, how many meals a day, and how many snacks a day, what kind of food I like, what kind of food sits really well, what food feels good, also what food feels bad for me, what food makes me feel like shit. For example, this weekend, I baked cookies with my girlfriend, and we ended up, I ended up having 5 cookies. And just the sugar alone, along with a couple of drinks, made me feel like absolute dog shit yesterday and today, and that's super normal, but it usually happens just because I normally don't eat like that. I might have a little bit of a bite of some kind of sweet here and there, but I don't go all out and kind of low-key binge, if that makes sense, even though that's not really a full-out binge, but they're pretty big cookies. So that being said, it's a balance, and I think that this is something that's learned as people go along. And I know that this is a little bit holistic as well, but I think it's something that people learn as they go along and they experience new things. This is something I try to coach to my clients all the time. I'm it's about give and take. You need to really understand that if you want to go out on the weekend and enjoy a meal, you can do that. But, since you need to lose weight, maybe cut down on some of the carbs that you have throughout the rest of the day, just a little bit. Cut them in half at least. Still keep your protein the same. And then at least you have some, calories and carbs saved for that meal that you want to eat out at. That way you're not overeating on the calories and carbs during your fitness journey. And I think that's where people end up getting confused, because they know that, you need to eat a certain calorie amount and macro amount to achieve your goal. You need to train X amount of days, to achieve your goal. But what's the balance between that? That's where I find that people maybe get confused and they would just rather go all in rather than learning that stuff. But that's where I see most people fail, because I've been there many times where I've set new goals for competitions or just for fitness in general, whether that was powerlifting, marathon running, or even bodybuilding shows, just because I wanted to prove it to myself that I could do it. And then, I still followed the same practices as I went along in life without realizing that I just needed to find a little bit more balance to feel a little bit more sane, because putting that pressure on myself, it didn't allow me to just be, if that makes sense. And that's how we all want to be. But when it comes to nutrition, like I find that this is most relevant for the person who isn't a competitor, but they want to take care of their health in a way where they look good and feel good, and they can be around for their grandkids when they're older, they can be around for their kids when they're older, and they just want to live a better life. It's give and take. You need to find your balance for nutrition. You don't just need to be eating healthy 24/7, because I know I am definitely not that person to do that. Like, I like to go out, enjoy some food once in a while, drink here and there. I even smoke here and there. Like, I'm not like this perfect fucking coach, you know what I mean? Like, and I also don't think that that's really like the best thing, because it's like it's not like you understand these things. Like, these things need to be understood in order to actually live a good life, because people do really struggle with their eating on a day-to-day basis. So eating clean, it can literally just become a form of control, like punishment, and it's not real freedom. So what really matters is consistency over perfection. How you're thinking about food, you might just have to think about that a little bit more, so then you stop repeating the same cycles. Like, that's what it's really about. Even for me, when it comes down to like kind of breaking any kind of bad habit that I want to get rid of, it takes that constant reflection with myself, like writing down notes. I also use ChatGPT to help me think about things sometimes, or stuff like that. So then that way I can start to find what like works for me. Oh, I noticed that eating super clean for the last 2 weeks, it's been feeling good, but I'm stressed. I want to go out and do something. How do I do that? How do I make this sustainable? How do I make this flexible for myself? Because you can. It's not rocket science. So normalize imperfection, please. Your health and your fitness, I'm fucking sick and tired of it being this thing that needs to be super strict, that needs to be balls to the wall. That's not why I got into fitness. That's why nobody starts to learn about their health in that, like, for that reason. Like, nobody learns about their health and their fitness to just end up being like super strict and only healthy. It's just so boring and gray. Nobody does. Like, people learn about their health and fitness to actually improve their life, to actually feel good, to feel in control in a good way. In control in a way where you don't just need to, like, you're okay going out and enjoying a meal because you know that you're in control. Not the other way around, where it's like, I'm eating calories and it's crazy. Like, that's not healthy practices. So let's practice some healthy shit and like feel better about our lives. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to keep it a little bit shorter on this podcast episode. If you have any questions or anything whatsoever, feel free to let me know. Make sure to give this podcast a thumbs up. I always post one every single Thursday. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. It's The Fitness Journey on Spotify. And that's it, y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Have an amazing rest of your day. Much love and peace out.